You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
I want to talk about news, don't want the drama. From no pretentious media Madonna. I found me a great ganja mama. Cannabis and coffee with Tamarijuana.
Good morning, folks. It's Monday. And yeah, I threw my hair on a ponytail because I'm just not. It's not a fabulous day. We have lost so many people in the last little bit to fucking cancer. I don't even know. Like, it's just ongoing. Many of you know that I lost my best friend, Kelly, about 9 months ago to cancer. And then Sam Malachi, Gail Quinn, Michelle Rainey, and they keep saying, oh, there's a cure for cancer. But is it? And they keep telling us that, technology and science has made it so that it's not always a death sentence anymore. But is it? The chemotherapy and the radiation treatments, I've seen people go through this, and it's brutal. And I've also seen a lot of people try the fecal treatments, and it's not any easier. And I know that cancer is something that we can't control, even though that we've got, politicians that seem to think that our bodies can, which is unbeknownst to me. How anybody can think that it's in our control to stop stage 4 cancer. Our lifestyles are this and that and everything else. Well, maybe you shouldn't have, got everybody addicted to tobacco, processed foods, sugar, things that feed cancer. Anyways, we lost somebody fairly recently to cancer. We pretty much watched him wither away to nothing. And he was such an amazing person, positively right to the end. And you always hear me say, have so much fun, right? That may have came from him. I think what made me feel like the most connected yesterday when I was sitting watching his memorial is they had made pulled pork and coleslaw. And that was Neil's favorite. Well, the first time he came to Tabor and stayed with us, I made pulled pork on a bun with coleslaw. And he wasn't sure he could eat it because he had some IBS issues and some issues too, right? Oh, he ate it. And the poor guy got, his stomach, he had some issues. I think he ended up locking himself up in the bathroom for a couple hours. But when I saw that they were making pulled pork, that really made me happy because that meant a part of me was still there. I know I'm not trying to make it that it was, but it really was. We met Neil in 2008. I started activism in 2007. And as soon as I heard the Freedom Tour was heading through to Calgary, I got a hold of Keith and Debbie and Neil and said, "Hey, you can come to Lethbridge. Like, let's do this." So basically, I think Keith and Deb first drove him down to us in Tabor, and then we all went and protested in front of Bob headquarters in Lethbridge, downtown Lethbridge. And Neil stood out in the middle of the street singing "Oh Cannabis" in front of the head shop. And we all stood out behind the vehicles because there was parking. I think I have a picture of that somewhere. Let me see if I can bring it up. Pretty sure I have a picture of that somewhere in my stuff. And we so this is, I think, because we on or did we the first, I think the first year we picked him up in Medicine Hat actually was is what happened. No, let me see if I can, how do I share this? I think I gotta go here to I want to share. Mm, nope, that's not it. I think I gotta take this one down first. Actually, I'm gonna play this first, and then while I'm playing this, I'm going to look for Neil's picture of the first time that we met him up. We met up with him in Medicine Hat. Hang on a second here. I'm gonna move myself, and I'm going. Actually, I'll put myself here. This is a memorial that somebody made for Neil yesterday, and I'm gonna play it. Smoke a doobie.
Oh, well. Welcome to the THC show with Neil. THC stands for Truth, Hope, and Change, and we're going to hope to cover all the different latest news and stuff to do in the cannabis world, and do it in a way that gives you some hope and maybe provides some opportunity for change. You guys want some free weed? Well, let's get this underway then.
There, you're live.
Ready? We're live?
You're live.
All right, hey. Welcome to the THC show, everybody.
It looks like some pretty nice stuff here, Neil.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen the plants?
Yes, I just saw the plants. Beautiful.
Plants are awesome.
The laws against cannabis are very destructive, and they fly right in the face of what it means to be a Canadian and what it means to be in a free country. If you're not free to grow a plant and use a plant for your arthritis, pain, or to feel good or whatever you want, you're not free.
There is so much oppression of our great culture here. There is so much hypocrisy and corruption in this world we're living in. And we're still going to fight hard to get what we deserve. You deserve the right to do or not do whatever you want to do or don't want to do without any government coercion or prohibition until you interfere with somebody else. If you don't stand up for it, they'll continue to take it away from us. Your children will be a lot less free than we are, and we'll be a lot less free.
It's 4:20. My alarm didn't go off.
What happened? When you were ready to spiel, I couldn't interrupt.
I was waiting for that thing to go. I was kind of keeping my eye on it, you know. All right. Well,
We really are making an impact in this community and offsetting the use of opioids. I thank everybody that's been involved and helped us get here, and we're looking forward to another great year.
I can't thank enough all the people that helped me do this. I thank you, the viewer, for watching. It's really been great to have you along. I hope that we're able to make a difference in your life and maybe make a difference in the world somewhere. And I want you all to have as much fun as you can changing the world. From myself, Neil Magnuson, Pot TV, and the THC show, have as much fun as you can changing the world.
So I'm a bit of a patriot. I love my country. I hate my government. I'm scared shitless of those people. They are corrupt as could be, and they can make our lives miserable, but I love Canadians. So when it was time to help out with these pot rallies that I've been going to for 5 years, one of the first things that came to my mind is, well, we got to have a proper anthem. We need to have something that's thought-provoking, that's respectful, that's not stupid, that helps to teach people about what we're doing here. So I wrote my version of O Cannabis. So without any further ado, if you know the words, give me a hand. If you don't, that's fine. I'll sing them for you. Oh, cannabis.
Oh, cannabis, the sacred plant of peace. With healing powers, it helps our eyes to see. And with glowing joints, we make the point that the true north should be free. And with wise red eyes, we criticize the war against our family. God keep our staff from the police. Oh, cannabis, we stand here high and proud for this. Oh, cannabis, the sacred plant of peace. Thank you. Let's get you some marijuana.
And that is an amazing memorial. And thank you to the person that made that. Thanks for joining, everybody. Hi, CPS. Sorry. Hi, everybody. I'm having a hard time keeping it together. So I'm just going to show some more pictures. Let's see if I can find this one. Okay. All right. So this was our first meeting with Neil. We actually picked him up in Medicine Hat. I'd forgotten I had to go back because, you know, Alzheimer's and all, my brain doesn't always remember in order. But we drove to Medicine Hat and picked him up. And then I believe, I don't know how it all kind of worked out. If that was a second year, maybe that was the second year. Because I think the first year, Debbie and Keith Fagan brought him down to us. Like I said, I have a hard time kind of keeping things in chronicle order sometimes. But I also have, like, this is me and him meeting. So this would have been in 2008 because Petal was there. And oh man, it was funny because Petal was, you know, just a pup. She didn't like Neil. Straight up, like as soon as she met him, she was barking and yapping, and but she didn't like kids either. Like it was weird with her. Like she was kind of that fussy dog, but she did not like Neil. And for the life of me, we could not figure out why. But it was kind of funny. But this is at the head shop in Medicine Hat that we picked him up from. Let's see. I've got pictures of him. This is us in Tabor. So this is Kathy Gifford. Kathy Griffith. She actually was a longtime supporter of everybody as well. She's from Lethbridge. And she was actually one of the patients in the Myrna ruling, the Myrna case. We worked together back when we were involved with Matt, when he was going through his charter challenge. We were both witnesses. But Kath is actually the witness that they put on the stand. A lot of people don't know that, but that's Kathy Griffin. She, like I said, there's us, the three of us with Neil in my living room in Tabor. Now, let's see. I know these aren't great pictures, folks. See, and here we are. This is at Kelly Christie's place in Calgary. So we all know that Keith here is no longer with us either, right? So we've got two amazing activists that are no longer with us. Keith was the founder of Calgary 420. If it wasn't for Keith and Debbie Fagan and Kelly Christie and Neil, and the Emerys at the time, and Michelle Rainey and Greg Williams and all those people that a lot of us don't speak their names of anymore, but we still have to give some sort of, I do anyways. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like to hear about that, but these people got me started. And Keith, Keith was amazing. Amazing too. So this was the RV that they had. Now Jack Ellerman was with Neil along the way too, and Greg and Karen from GI Joe Filming Company. Greg's amazing. In fact, next week Jack and Greg are going to join me. We're going to continue talking about more things that they did with Neil, because Neil um, wasn't somebody that sat still. All right, he loved being in the center of attention. That's one thing that Neil really liked to be. He he drew people to him though. That's a thing. So Greg and Karen actually followed along with him. It's and did the still trip and the Trans Canada Highway film, and it was about Neil's journey to Ottawa to get the word to the politicians in Ottawa that we needed more freedom. And that why it was called the Freedom Tour, and that's why I kind of snicker about the protests and stuff that went on during COVID, is that Neil was ahead of his time. He was already doing this, but he was doing it in a mindful, peaceful manner, and he was doing it to bring awareness to people that needed help for medical and the plant, right? Which ultimately, if we all would just see that healing plant could really bring peace to the world. And Neil knew that, right? And he spread that everywhere. The substitution program, that was the end game. But his first project was to get access to everybody, right? And that's what our projects were always about. All of us across the country was to get some sort of access for patients all across. Jason Wilcox too, like I said, we lost him too. Different circumstances, but we've lost him too. Like I said, we've lost so many good warriors. Tracy Curley, right? I probably shouldn't do this today, but there's so many that we've lost. Now, Jack's right here, and like I said, he'll be on with me next week. But here's a picture of Neil and Taven, and we all know that Taven's now 15 years old, or almost 15. Taven will be 15 in December. This was sitting in Fiona Dory's kitchen one other time that Neil was there. Like I said, Neil was at my place so many times that I can't chronologically always put it together, right? Because, like I said, from 2008 on, even when they were like, Alvin and I were in Cranbrook. We moved here in 2014. And we couldn't make it to the Medicinal Harvest Cup that year. But Neil and Roxy had gone. And they stopped in on their way there, and they stopped in on their way back, just to stop in, right? And anybody in the community knew that if you were in this area at any time, get a hold of me. Like, if I'm home and I'm available, you'd bet. The Red Room, well, right now the Red Room's a fucking mess, but the Red Room's always open, right? And if we don't have a Red Room, we'll find a spot on the lawn, because, like I said, right now my house is a disaster and it's falling apart, but you would still be welcome. And that's always the way it's been, right? Always. So Neil had been here several times for whatever reason, right? In the last few years, when I had the Kootenai Cup, I invited them out too, but he wasn't in the position financially to come. I wasn't in the position financially to bring him out, and I regret that now. To be honest, I wish he would have been able to make at least one of my cups. But again, situations in life, right? But we always kept in touch. He's been on the show several times. I've had several times. In fact, I think the last time, because everybody's on Vancouver time out there, and I'm only an hour ahead. But my show is at noon. That's 11 o'clock Vancouver time, and they would do their shows from bed. Him, Dana, there was Cindy too. Like, I'm still just getting up, but they'd still, make the time and the effort to come and support me on my show. And always, anytime I ever been to Vancouver, I've always felt like I was going home to family. So, and Neil was always there. Always. Anytime I've ever been out there, I've always seen him. Not it has been a while. I haven't been out to Vancouver either. I haven't been anywhere for a really long time. But I want to thank Cindy and Glenn for yesterday. The ability to virtually be there was perfect. So we're at 20 after now. Now that I've balled through the first 20 minutes of the show, I'm sorry. But he had a huge impact on my life too. Ugh. So I'm gonna take my commercial break now and try and pull my fucking big girl panties back on. And we're gonna play some of the Still Trippin' Highway, the Trans Canada Highway part, some of that, because Greg's gonna come on next week, and we'll play some more of that then. And again, we want to thank everybody that's been able to maybe bring our community back together, because I know that's one thing he wanted. I mean, he had some, there was always issues in the background. Anybody who's in Vancouver knows, right? If you know, you know. And if you don't know, thank God you don't. But if you know, you know. There's always, infighting and stuff. And at the end of the day, I think we all have to make peace with whatever issues we have and stop it. Like, stop it. Right? But again, Neil wouldn't want us fighting. He'd want us to be having the best time we could be, right? And I know he wouldn't want me sitting here bawling. Well, and I'd tell him too fucking bad, dude. Bert and Guppy are gone now too, right? Like, how is this fucking possible? Anyways, we're gonna play some commercials and thank our sponsors, because somebody's got to pay for you all to watch me cry. And I'll be right back, and we're going to play some of that Still Trippin' the Trans Canada Highway, and talk some more about a great person. Never mind his activism, right? Never mind his activism. Neil was just a fucking amazing person, period. And that's it. I mean, we got busted together. There was some, random poppies left in my truck. Oh, fuck. I didn't get arrested, but he did. Oh, my God. Yeah, he got arrested. He had to go back to Tabor. I got busted shortly after that for the 4 grams in the mail. So Tabor was not a pleasant place for either one of us. And he had to go back, and I think I was already living in Coronation when he had to go back for court. And actually, he didn't even have to go back for court. He had gotten a court date. But all we told him is stay the fuck out of Alberta. If you stay out of Alberta, whatever, right? Neil didn't stay out of Alberta. And somehow, some way, he got picked up on his warrant. I can't remember how that went down exactly either. I can't remember if he was in Calgary or if he was in Lethbridge. He was in Lethbridge. I can't exactly remember, to be honest. But he got picked up for his warrant. So then he had to go back to court or something along those lines, I think. I'd have to... I'm not even sure who would actually know the story exact on that. But I know he did end up going back to Tabor for those, to finish up with those charges. But yeah, we got pulled over coming back from Lethbridge. Yeah. And I was driving. And they, pulled us both out of the truck and handcuffed us. And Neil only had, I think a couple joints or maybe 3 grams of cannabis on him. I had nothing but some rolling papers on me. We had smoked everything at what the hell? At the guy that owned Bob Headquarters. What the hell was his name again? Geez, my brain's not working. Rick. We were at Rick's. The owner of Bob Headquarters had thrown a gathering. We were all at Rick's in the backyard. And we had, had a great night. It was a potluck, and everybody had gathered together and had some good food. And, we were driving back and hit the fucking city limits of Tabor, and you had to slow down. And the cop pulled us over saying that my tail lights weren't working. That's funny, because when I got home, my tail lights were fine. And they took Neil. They took him and put him, they handcuffed him and took him away. We had to wait for him to call us to come and pick him up. And it wasn't far because the police station literally was 5 doors away from my house. We lived around the corner from the Taber police station when we lived in Taber. Yeah, it was ridiculous. Like, I could fucking look out my back door and see the front door of the Taber police station. And we were growing in the basement there before I got my license, right? We were pretty blatantly, but yeah. Yeah, it was weird how that, but that cop, Champagne, he had a hard on for me. Right from the get-go, right from the day I moved into that town, and I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't even know how he knew who I was. That cop, every time where it was Alvin, because even we had gone to visit my parents and we had the Chev and it had tinted windows on it. And we had a truckload of shit and Alvin's license had been suspended and we didn't know this, right? For child support or something like that. And yeah, that cop pulled us over. And we weren't even living in Taber anymore. We were living up in Coronation and pulled us over just because of the tinted windows on the truck. Like, he's such a dick. Anyway, yeah, the stories, right? The stories that we all have along the way of towards legalization and all our activism. But yeah, arrested. Yeah, I've been arrested a few times, and once was with Neil. Oh fuck! I can remember him screaming and yelling, "You can't touch me! I'm a Canadian citizen. You have no rights to touch me. What are you arresting me for?" And he did. He screamed loud, and we were on the side of the highway. There was nobody. It was dark. It was bad. I should see if I could find those pictures. I probably have them somewhere too. It's difficult though when you change computers and that stuff from, like, I don't have my laptops from like, I mean, I've been doing this for 17 years, right? Since 2007. That's 17 years, 18 years that we've been doing activism, and how many computers and phones have we been through? And you try and keep all those pictures, but unfortunately, it's hard to keep them all together in one spot. So, yeah, I've got lots of pictures. I just don't know where they all are, unfortunately. All right, so I said I was going to go to a commercial break. I've now ran myself to the point of where I have to go to a commercial break. Because I never stop talking, right? You all know that. Anyways, I'll be right back after the commercial break, and we'll be playing some Still Trippin'.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Camelford Lifestyle Shop, open Monday to Friday from 10 till 7 p.m. or by chance. Check out our flags, our t-shirts, plus our hats, and look of that supply of rolling papers, plus much more. We've got bongs and your favorite herbal vaporizers. Look at all the incense we have, as well as for those who collect knives, check out these knives in our collection. And while you're here, stop in to see Shay at the piercing room, where you can get poked by Shay. Daily deals, check them out. Camelford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Camelford, Ontario.
When you have a pain that's reached its peak, Legacy for 20, it's so unique. If organic cannabis is what you seek, here's your trusted partners 7 days a week. Suppository salves, vapes and drops, topicals, edibles, infused pop. Just when life seems like it ain't easy, at Legacy 420, enjoy a pop freezy. Lab tested products, make them the GOAT. Legacy 420 out on your road. Legacy 420 in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. Indigenous organic cannabis at its finest.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
All right, and we're back after my break. I don't know, but I actually asked a couple people to come on the show today, and unfortunately they couldn't because last minute Nelly here because I'm always sidetrack Sally. But I heard one of my friends said it's so hot out here I can barely breathe, and I'm like, fuck, I'm sitting here under a heated blanket with a sweater on, so. I'm freezing. Like, I'm still freezing. Like, I don't know, like I said, menopause maybe too, because that's been a fucking raging fucking nightmare. Again, sorry for the cry fest before, but that's just, I mean, I'm fairly upset about it, to be fair. I don't know, he wouldn't want me crying about it. He want me spreading the world and be as happy as I could doing it. So we're going to change that. We'll change the mood and try and be some more upbeat stuff. And I'm going to start with the Still Trippin'. So we first met Greg and Karen through Neil. They had asked if they could come, and they were doing the Freedom Tour and they all wanted to stop in if we had somewhere for them to stay. They all showed up with RV, I believe, and I think Neil stayed in the house, and Jack Ellerman was with them as well. So next week Jack and Greg are going to actually join me, and we're going to do some more memory of Neil Magnuson and and other activists that were involved along the way. Because this project was a huge project. I mean, they went across the country and interviewed patients from coast to coast, right? And then Greg and Karen clipped it all together and made this amazing documentary called Still Trippin'. And we really promoted that, but it's been 10 years. But it's still an amazing documentary that I think that we just continue to keep sharing about freedom and how hard activists worked across this country to bring legalization to fruition. Now, I know a lot of people don't like it and they don't think it's perfect, and I agree. The medical community has been left behind, but we still have our program. So that's one thing that we can be, I'm not saying be grateful for anything, because we had to fight for everything we've ever had through the courts. The Canadian government has never given us anything. The only thing that's ever protected us is our Charter of Rights. And if we don't be careful, we have a politician flapping that he wants to shred that. So be careful for who you vote for. Again, just saying. But it's never been our government that's given medical patients any rights to have autonomy, right? For the ability to grow their own medicine. We had to fight for all of that. And it's because of great people like the activism community that we have that these things came, right? And we did get them. Again, Jason Wilcox, the fruition of all his labors, and he's gone now too, right? So we have to be really grateful to the people that have put footprints in the sand for us. Michelle Rainey, like I said, there's so many people before us and us that continue, and then there's going to be people after us, and let's make sure we educate them properly so they are putting out the right messaging, right? We don't want anything that's any different than what we want them to hear. Again, Neil did a great job at that. He was a master of speaking, and it took time. And he, like I said, between him and Russell Barth too, with critiquing my writing, Keith Fagan too, with critiquing my letters to the editors and all the things that I got published. Asia, hey, for giving me the ability, an opportunity to write for 12 High Chicks magazine, to get my writings published. There's been so many people over the way that have empowered all of us together collectively that have done these things. Now, again, I know all of you don't think that legalization is the best, but it's got our crime rates down by 95% for possession. People are not looking over their shoulder anymore if they're smoking a joint. And to be fair, access for patients is everywhere. If you have the, affordability, it's down there too, right? We still shouldn't be taxed on our medicine. We're not on our pharmaceuticals, but you're still taxed on your cannabis, which I don't think should be happening for people that use it for medical purposes either. Again, there are a lot of, cracks in the system, but there's cracks in every system. We have to be mindful and keep fighting, right? Keep fighting to fill those holes, especially with the substitution program, especially with that program. I'd love to open one here. It's just that I never had the donations, the opportunity, or the volunteers that are willing to come together in this community to do what I'd like to see come to fruition, because our opioid crisis is horrible here too. And it's a small community. We're talking 22,000 people maybe. And we just lost, like I said, last week, a 13-year-old died of a fentanyl overdose here 2 weeks ago, right? So a substitution program would be something I'd love to start in my community as well. And people that have done it, Chris Backer, hands in the air to you, because I know that you work really hard too out in Halifax, and guys in Saskatoon that are doing it, and the ones that are trying to do it in Surrey and everywhere else. That if anybody wants to, I'm sure that if you reached out to the substitution programs that are already set up, they might be able to help you set up in your community. That would be something that I'd like to see, happen. If you have, let's put it this way, there's not a town in this fucking country that is not touched by addiction. There's not. You can't tell me that there's not one town in this whole fucking country that isn't touched by addiction. That would be a lie. Even the smallest communities with like 700 people are touched with addiction. And I know this because I used to live in one. So if your community is touched by addiction, maybe cannabis substitution, but there's not one community in this whole fucking in I would say in North America that hasn't been touched by addiction. Not one. How sad is that? How much trauma is that all rolled into all our little communities across our country? Anyways, back to still tripping. I keep going off the rails. And you're not surprised, are ya? Not a bit. Okay, so we're gonna put this up, add to stage. That's still tripping. Is that the one? No, that's not. That's not what I want. What the heck's going on here? I want this one. So I have to. Okay, I have to go somewhere else. There we go. Okay. All right. So, oh no, the video is unavailable. Why is the video unavailable? I'm gonna have to go somewhere else and find it. I'm gonna have to go directly to YouTube. Why would it not be on here? There it is. I knew. And it was 10 years ago.
Whatever else is found, I know. Many angels fly away with the bell and a tone. But there's never time to stay, I know. And I know, and I know. Thousand days never found with the bear and a jaw. I'm then crawling on the ground, I know. I'll kiss some girls in my way with the light and some home. Tell me for the light of day, I know. And I know, here I go. Going by the floor wide open. Going down the downstairs now. Going for the 3, please hold on. Going down the downstairs now. And where I go now.
In the immortal words of Bob Dylan, everybody must get stoned! Let your voices be heard. You can't take it away from everyone. Look at this.
Wow, what a beautiful day in Saskatchewan, Tim. Holy smokes, man. Where are we off to?
Well, we're off to my garden. One of the licenses, I have 2 designate licenses. One I keep back at my office, and the other license I use to go and help set up other farmers. I grow with them for one of my license contract, and usually teach them all the ins and outs about it, and then I kind of move that license to the next location and help set up these family farms to help people, make some type of supplementary income growing cannabis, making it actually a profession for them, because it's a crop worth planting, that's for sure.
And you got a license from Health Canada to do this stuff. Why do you think you need a license? I mean, why is cannabis still illegal here? What's going on?
That's a good question. Well, especially when you see it out in the prairies, like when they founded the province out in Saskatchewan here, marijuana and hemp were one of the largest manufactured crops at the time they found this province. And if it was right out legalized, I know this province would definitely be the ones growing it. And maybe that's a big threat to some big industries in other provinces and things, but it's just a lot of money involved in what that plant can actually do, because we all talk about hemp and how it has 55,000 industrial applications. Well, marijuana shares every common thing with that plant, but adding one more beautiful thing, and that it's a medicine and it's helping cure people of cancer and helping people alleviate their pain.
So you think marijuana is illegal because it's worth so much?
Industry, yeah. Industry is the only reason why it's illegal, in my opinion.
How you like your bacon? Crispy? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
I think it's time
on the run.
for change.
I don't see any birds that you normally see whipping around in the fields.
Gotta know by now that this ain't
Smells like weed.
Gotta rip it on down and start again.
The hemp business is done. The hemp business is a joke. I could make one phone call and shut the whole goddamn thing down. When I first came into this business, every farmer in Canada, huge numbers of farmers in Western Canada, like 3,000 farmers, were growing hemp seeds to sell as planting seed. That's the only basis for this business. All these farmers thought, oh, this is government has shut down our milk. Government has shut down our chickens. Government has shut down our wheat. Government has shut down our pigs. Here's a new business we can get into. Government hasn't fucked this one up yet. And so all these farmers, thousands and thousands of them, started growing planting seed. What for? To sell to other farmers as planting seed, thinking that this is going to be this big fucking miracle crop and everybody's going to start eating hemp. Oh yeah, not likely. There wasn't even anybody that knew how to take the shells off of it, and there wasn't any markets for the fiber, and there still isn't.
Hey there, we're at Rocky Mountain Grain Company, where they sell all kinds of things hemp, and this is what they call their bar room. We're here with Teresa, and this is the bars that they sell. These are hemp bars made out of hemp seeds minus the shell, made into like a bar, and then topped with all kinds of different awesome toppings. They're 2 complete meals per bar, I believe.
Right, yes.
And they're so awesome. They're so tasty, and they really make you feel like you're full after not having very much of it, for sure.
Exactly, yeah.
So, yeah, this is the bar room. Those are the bar samples. Where do we go from here, Seth?
From here, we're going to go out to a different building. Okay, Denise.
How are you folks doing? Hi. We're making a little documentary about hemp and prohibition and things like that, and we've ended up here. So, and what are these ladies doing?
Tina is the lady in the middle. She's a poor man. Anna is the other lady. And this is Anna's sister Sarah.
And they are filling the sample bags.
They are filling our sample bags, yeah.
So how many sample bags a day do you guys get done?
Depends on how long we do them, because we make bars.
Okay, so in an hour, how many would you put together?
Oh, lot. About 8,000.
About 8,000 an hour?
800.
800 an hour. And these are just sample bags, so there's no return on these other than advertising and getting the product out there.
Exactly. People can taste them, yeah.
What a great business strategy that is, because you've got a product that sells itself once it's been tasted by people.
Exactly.
Until I started telling Canadians why they should buy hemp farts, there was no industry. When I first started, I phoned 2,000 health food stores, and I said, I am making a product called hemp farts. It's a shelled hemp seed. It provides amazing energy. It satisfies hunger in an amazing way, and it provides people with digestive health. They said, we're not interested. We've had hemp from Manitoba. It tastes like shit. People bring it back. It's disgusting, and we don't want any more hemp. We don't want anything to do with it. So to all those thousands of health food stores, I said, I'm confident in my product. I'll supply it to you at no cost. I'll supply you with a case of hemp farts at no cost. I'll supply you with a case of oil at no cost. I'll supply you with a case of free samples so you can give samples to your customers at no cost. And I'll supply you with a wooden and stainless steel display unit at no fucking cost. And they said, well, how are you going to make any money? And I said, after the stuff is sold, you can pay me for it if you like. And I'll ship to you, I'll ship more to you. So if I phoned 2,000 stores, 2 of them would do that. They were so disgusted with what was going on in the hemp industry in Canada that out of 2,000 stores, 2 of them would do that. And the only reason they would do it is because I agreed they could keep the stand when it failed.
You know I blame it on industry. I blame it on my own hypocrisy. It's education and politicians. No one's willing to step up and speak.
Hemp? Cannabis? Marijuana? What's going on here? We've been tripping around trying to get to the bottom of this highly controversial issue of why is cannabis still illegal? For the opinion of some progressive law enforcers, we sought out LEAP member Dennis Young to get the thoughts of a former policeman.
You're a member of LEAP, which is Law Enforcement Against Prohibition. And tell us a bit about LEAP. How many members?
About 10,000 members, most of them in the States. It is all, you have to be, to get into LEAP as a speaker, you have to have been sort of on the hammer side of the law. So we don't take defense lawyers.
Right.
We take judges, we take prosecutors, we take cops.
Right.
And so people who are the best, I would say no one is more informed of the use and effects of drugs than a street cop. I learned a lot about what policing is. And, you know, you have basically the revenue generators, which traffic, fining people and that sort of thing. So you're basically you're paid to attack the public. And then when a serious crime occurs, I stopped one offense in 6 years as it happened.
Right.
So generally a crime happens and police go along later with a mob.
Right.
So we're attacking decent citizens for their cash, and we're not protecting them from violence other than to, charge the offender if we catch them.
And how do the police feel about the drug users?
Well, they look at it as the most basic, simple issue is it's illegal. I bust people who do illegal things, and that's the end of the thought from the perspective.
So they're not putting much thought into what they're doing.
No.
Like when you look across Canada, we have 20,000 RCMP members, sworn members, and plus our provincial and our municipal police force. I mean, there's tens of thousands of policemen across the country. So I think generally speaking, most of our members are very, they do their job to the letter of the law, and
they're getting stats. Just like, you come back at the end of a day and your boss says, well, what did you do today? Let's see your tickets. Let's see your criminal charges. And you better have some, or they're going to start saying, well, what are we paying you for?
I see my friends every day. Trying to live their lives. While you're worried about the rest, well, they're living in pain. But you won't grant them the right to take it away.
It doesn't make sense. I don't believe prohibition is helping anybody. I believe it's actually hurting our society more than it's helping. It's not changing the flow of drugs. It's not changing the flow of money. It's not stopping the gangs. It's enabling them, and it's helping them get stronger. It's helping them fund everything that they're doing, and they're destroying our youth. They're destroying our children. It's keeping our children in the poverty level that they're at, because either you go to school and you come out of university with a $50,000 debt load that you start out your life with, or you sell drugs and you don't have a debt load. You're blinging. You're doing great things. You're driving around in a fancy car. You're buying boats. You're going on fancy trips, right? And the poor kid that spent 4 years in university is plugging away to barely pay rent, to eat craft dinner, and then comes out of school with a $50,000 debt load. How is that helping our youth?
I have noticed that is something I've personally experienced. I know with other activists and other people who have been victims of the drug war, that what tends to happen with women is that they will go after men. They tend to go after their financial security. Mm-hmm. That's what tends to hit men. I'm going to take away your ability to make a living, to support your family, that sort of thing. So judges tend to, I'm going to stick you in jail so you can't work, or somehow limit their ability to have an income. Women, more often than not, they tend to go for family first. There seems to be so much collateral damage often when you bring in, especially a mother who has children. You're talking about not just affecting that person, but the kids afterwards and their whole viewpoint, or if you're taking their father, same thing. It's their whole viewpoint will be changed forever.
Look at all the commercials for pharmaceuticals on TV. You've got 15 seconds of commercial and 15 seconds of disclaimers about what might happen to you.
Hair loss and impotence and
death.
And ultimately death, exactly.
And with cannabis, well, what is it? Happy, hungry, sleepy.
Yeah.
I can get along with those.
No death.
No death.
So here we are in Calgary with activist extraordinaire and founder of the 420 Calgary 420 group, Keith Fagan. You've had lots of actions and protests and things that you've done there.
Amazing.
Just tell me a few that stand out in your memory.
April 20, 2006 was a big one. The city hall was very angry with me. I tried to get permits for the park, and they were very angry. They were adamant that they were going to stop me at all costs, and they were, Bible thumping kind of situation, hell's brimstone and fire, kind of situation. And we're going to arrest you. We're going to bylaw ticket you. We're going to stop you at all costs. This is inappropriate for our city. Well, we do have a Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, sir, and I am going to exercise my right to do so. So April 20th comes around, we go down there, and lo and behold, there's a whole bunch of police lined up in the park waiting for us. So we were, there was only a few of us, and we were fearful. I was concerned. I decided to heck with this. I parked my truck. I jumped out. I went in front of the police. I set down my briefcase. I grabbed a sign, and I proudly marched back and forth in front of them, chanting slogans and whatnot. A few minutes later, Grant Krieger, my wife, and the other people started to join us. And after a while of protesting and the police not arresting me or ticketing me, I'm surprised at this point, Grant Krieger has MS, and he has a court exemption to be able to consume it legally. So he pulled out a joint to consume it. You could see him trembling, and he needed it. It was necessary. And he sparked up his joint. Police come over to him. grabbed him, gave him a $100 ticket, took his cannabis away from him. And I told them, and Grant told them, we're going to get a lawyer. We're going to fight you. We're going to play your game. We're going to work with your rules, and we're going to win. So we took it to court, the $100 ticket. The lawyer was $300. But the best $300 we ever spent, Neil.
Yeah.
The sergeant went up to testify, and the judge threw it out within 2 minutes. The lawyer got 3 questions out, and it was tossed out there on the spot.
We're only got a few minutes left of the show, about 4 minutes left, but I'd forgotten that I was in that. Yeah, they were at our place, and like I said, Neil was a big part of our life, and that's Taven and I. When Taven was, I think he was probably 9 months old, something along those lines. Yeah, and I'd forgotten that we were in there. Thanks, Greg, for bringing back some amazing memories. We're going to catch more of that next time when I have you and Jack on the show. So next week I am going to have Greg from G.I. Joe and Jack Ellerman, who are longtime activists themselves and producers of documentaries and friends of Neil's and mine. And we're going to sit back and do some reminiscing next week. Same time here. Again, I want to thank everybody for watching today, and hug your loved ones, because tomorrow's not promised, right? Have as much fun as you can, and be happy. That's all I have to say. Is love yourself, and we need to come together. So, have as much fun as you can today, folks. And remember that every person that you touch is a ripple. Keep on tripping. We'll see you next week.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
When you have a pain that's reached its peak, Legacy for 20, it's so unique. If organic cannabis is what you seek, here's your trusted partners 7 days a week. Suppository salves, vapes and drops, topicals, edibles, infused pop. Just when life seems like it ain't easy, at Legacy 420, enjoy a pop freezy. Lab tested products, make them the GOAT. Legacy 420 out on your road. Legacy 420 in Tyndonega Mohawk territory. Indigenous organic cannabis at its finest.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more. We've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.